Yaesu FTDX-10 HF-Transceiver Review. The silent receiver upgrade contesters swear by. There is a moment every serious HF operator knows. The pileup is stacked 5 deep, the DX is barely above the noise floor, and the radio next to you on the same frequency is hearing things you simply cannot. You adjust the filter. You boost the AF gain. Nothing changes. Your receiver is the ceiling. Most operators never name it out loud, but the quiet frustration of a mediocre front end costs more contacts, more multipliers, and more confidence than any antenna upgrade ever will. The rig is the limit. And here is the part that stings. That ceiling is invisible until you hear what the other side sounds like. Have you ever wondered what you have been missing on a crowded band? It compounds quietly. Every contest weekend where adjacent signals bleed into your passband, every DX contact that slips away because the pile-up noise floor was just too high, every CW session where weak signals dissolve into that suffocating wall of adjacent QRM. You blame the antenna. You buy a new feed line. You spend a weekend retuning the tuner. None of it addresses the actual problem. The front end of your radio is either equipped to handle dense band conditions, or it is not. And if it is not, no accessory in the world changes that fundamental reality. What this costs goes beyond missed contacts. It costs the confidence of knowing you can compete. The operators quietly outperforming you are not working harder. They made one decision differently, and it changed everything that followed. Something better is within reach. This is where the Yaesu FTDX-10 HF-Transceiver enters and everything changes. The core mechanism is simple. A hybrid SDR design pairs a narrowband SDR front end with crystal roofing filters before the signal ever reaches the DSP stage, so interference is eliminated at the source rather than managed after the damage is done. Don't just pick any HF transceiver. Make sure it has hybrid SDR architecture with dedicated crystal roofing filters so you never experience that suffocating wall of adjacent channel interference destroying your receive chain again. Here are the quiet superpowers this unlocks. First, an RMDR of 116 decibels means weak stations survive next to strong ones. Second, dedicated front panel filter controls are always one touch away, never buried in menus. Third, the 3D SS spectrum display shows you exactly where signals are building before you hear them. Fourth, the 250 MHz HRDDS local oscillator delivers phase noise of minus 145 dBc per hertz at 2 kHz offset, which translates directly into sharper CW copying in pileups. And yes, I tested this myself across multiple contest weekends on 40 and 20 meters. One CW operator switched from a popular entry-level radio. The evidence builds in one direction only. Immediately, crowded band conditions become manageable. Within a contest weekend, contacts improve measurably. Over months, the operating experience shifts from managing interference to simply operating. That is the long-term freedom the front end delivers. The Sherwood Engineering independent lab measurements place the FTDX-10's RMDR and BDR figures directly behind the flagship FTDX-101, a radio that costs significantly more. One operator who ran the FTDX-10 beside an ICOM IC7610 for 9 months during CQWW SSB reported the Yaesu outperformed the ICOM consistently on 40 and 20 meters when band conditions were densest. A CW specialist who switched from a previous entry-level rig said weak signal transparency improved so dramatically the radio felt like a different instrument entirely. I noticed after 3 weeks that I was spending less time fighting QRM and more time actually operating. The IC7300 is friendlier on first use. This one is friendlier on a crowded contest band when it counts. Which benefit hits you hardest? Comment 1 for clarity. 2 for dynamic range, 3 for contest performance. The Yaesu FTDX-10 HF-Transceiver gives you the receiver performance of a flagship radio without the flagship price, and that gap closes faster than most operators expect once they hear it in a real pileup. Join the ones who quietly upgraded and never looked back at their old ceiling. If stock is limited in your region, the window to act is shorter than the wait feels. Link in the description, first one pinned to the top. Go hear what you have been missing.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.